If you are in the market for a brand new car, don't be a schlub. You got to get a hold of Mike Stacks, our contact at Subaru and Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi. And then you got to get a hold of J.C. Harrelson and get yourself a brand new Corvette or a Silverado. I told you my neighbor sold his Corvette.
Oh, really?
He got a Silverado.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think that's doing it wrong, but hey, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but hey, he stayed in the Chevy family, I guess.
I saw a BDM recently post on the BDM page that he got a new truck courtesy of J.C. Harrelson.
Have you seen those new trucks, man?
He was thanking J.C. Harrelson for all his help.
They're friggin' gorgeous.
And that's why we, give you these names, is because they know if you tell them, hey, I'm a Tom and Dan listener, I'm a BDM, they'll give you that VIP service.
It's an icebreaker. It's as simple as an icebreaker. It gets you in front of somebody who knows, oh, okay, this guy's from Tom and Dan. Let's get to work. Let's do some business.
Yep, and you should also talk to Mike Stacks, West Colonial Drive, right in front of the fairgrounds. That's where Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi is. I've had a Subaru Forester, WRX, great vehicles. Lifetime powertrain warranties. They hold their value.
They're cult-like vehicles.
Yeah,
let's just call them what they are. People that buy Subarus more than likely going to buy another one.
Got a Silverado and a Chevy Traverse from J.C. Harrelson over at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
Should have got a Corvette. You should have got
I know.
a Corvette. When are you getting your Corvette?
It's coming, buddy.
I know. Tiny shorts, muscle.
I'll be pulling my boat with the Corvette. It's Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont and Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi in West Colonial Drive. What do we got next here?
Oh, wow. Now I was lost in y'all's conversation. So because of that show, people instantly started coming into the store and asking about things.
Oh, man, you're going to start selling those things like crazy.
So we actually built...
It's called How to Build a Sex Room.
Oh.
She literally said that at the beginning, and then you're like, my wife was watching it for 3 hours.
I was thinking about other things.
All right.
I was thinking about the sex room. Because I think when you said that, instantly I was like, the sex room. I was like, we were talking about that the other day.
I too got stuck on sex room. I didn't know the name of the show was
like
How to Build a Sex Room.
How to Build a Sex Room. So
is this a DIY
lovely lady,
show?
this lovely British, kind of, exactly, this lovely British lady comes into these people, meets them, asks them questions, brings out her little bag of tricks and sees what they're into, what they're not into, and then bam, it might be she's built a cottage outside a person's house. She's done basements.
Cottage.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, every episode is different, and I will applaud the show for really showing a lot of diversity.
It's a non-judgy, fun show.
Non-judgy,
awesome.
And they really tackle some interesting concepts that probably I can't talk about so much here.
People like some interesting stuff.
But doing it in a way that was non-judgmental, that really treated it fun, and so to that end, I enjoyed the show. There are a couple of things that I would, if I want to be picky, there's a lot of talk about shibari. There's a lot. I think she does take one couple into an expert to show you how to rope tie, basically, right?
Yes.
Decorative rope tying and for light bondage and
purple
things.
tees.
I brought a set because we have carried rope for years and years. But one thing that they really didn't do was offer books on how-tos.
We're so no. I'm sorry. We were laughing. We were talking about that this morning.
Why?
Well, we start every day with coffee and light bondage talk.
Yeah. No.
How business gets done around here, Sam.
Me and Daniel are children.
I'm really the child. You're like I think you're like a teenager.
But it's weird though. We're middle-aged men. You know what I'm saying? Like we are now middle-aged. It blew my socks off the other day. I woke up. I am too. 40 is middle age.
You're still young.
I ain't living much past 80. I had a lot of head injuries and alcohol, and I'm middle.
I'm at the point in my life where you let the dog eat anything he wants.
Anyway,
yeah, like you're done
for any meal.
I thought I'd be more mature by now. And when I was a teenager, I looked at middle-aged men. I'm like, they don't think about this stuff. They don't laugh at goofy.
All they do is they stay silent. They do business and sit in chairs.
Yeah. They don't have any fun. They just do business, and they don't.
Down. Their kid does something good, they're like, not good enough. Right?
And then it turns out I'm just basically the same as I was.
Just a big baby.
Can't change.
A little slower. In fact, I think I laugh about it more now.
I do too. Because there's no energy to stop me from laughing about it. I'm so tired that I'm like...
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm so tired.
just give
There's
in.
less of a filter. I just laugh at things.
So can I check out this Shibari book?
Go right ahead. So anyway, I brought a book because I would say that the show it really has opened up conversations about incorporating all types of play.
This is uncensored. I gotta be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that one. But we do carry a lot of books on how-tos, basic rope tying, just so that people are conscientious of playing safely. And so that's what our role is. People come to us now that their imaginations have been triggered, and what Fairvilla can do, because we have so many resources, books, obviously really great staff, they can walk you through these types of scenarios and things you might be interested in. Rope tying, for example.
I have misunderstood, I think, what rope tying or shibari. I misunderstood what this. Keep that low if you're going to look at it.
No.
I've misunderstood what it is. I think that I always thought that you were supposed to like tie the person up, and then in some way, or like then you're like having sex with some sort of tied up person. And I don't think it's
You
about
can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. You can do whatever you want, but I think it's more about the presentation of a form that you enjoy that is like pleasing to your eyes. It's like art.
Yeah.
So you tie the rope and you kind of form them in a way where then you enjoy the way that their body is kind of conformed. It's
Yeah.
It
more,
is an art.
Yeah, I think it's more because in there, when you see the way that these ladies are, and it's all ladies. I guess you can do the same thing with guys. Sure, why not? But like in there, it's ladies, and the way that they're presented, I'm like, oh, that's really pretty, you know? Like, you don't want to, like, immediately, like, oh, yeah, let's have sex. It's more about, like, oh, this is going to get me to a point where I'm fired up enough where we can do that through just me looking and enjoying
Yeah.
and tying. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
I brought another book, too, that's a little bit lighter, and it's just kind of an interesting, very how-to on knot tying. It's really nice.
This is what I mean by, maybe this is a good explanation for when we talk about how you guys have everything there from like entry level to like, hey, let's get crazy. So that Shibari book is very like, it's going to show you exactly what you need with all the parts out unedited. This one, on the other hand, though, is just silhouettes of people and how to do it. So if this was left out, if this is on your coffee table, whatever, you're not going to get in any trouble on this one.
So on the front of this book, and I understand what Daniel's saying, there's a lady that she's elegantly
it's like a presentation of her form.
But
it's
she's
like,
also like hanging.
There's suspension, and that's a whole nother thing. And that's why
this is wild.
When they show that kind of stuff on TV, I just like to emphasize it's not, you can aspire to that. You can certainly learn how to do that, but it's one of those things you really need to know what you're doing so that you don't hurt somebody.
I was about to say, like,
don't do this, because next thing you know, if you don't have that on a beam, you're going to kill yourself.
Well, I can imagine, like, I'm tying up my wife like this, with one foot tucked behind, you know what I'm saying, and she's like all tied up, and then I got a suspender, right? So I got to.
You don't have to.
Well, I'm just saying, I got it up.
Well, you got me over there dressed like Quasimodo. I'm working the line.
I got it up through some sort of
you got it through the church wrapper.
Pulley system.
It's like a pulley system in a roof.
It's like a Rube Goldberg.
And then I'm like, I'm just like, to lift a human.
Why did you have to make the noise of 5 Vikings? Or like the man's
It's also not that big. How dare you?
No, I'm not saying that big. No, but just a human being.
A slight woman.
No, she's not a tiny geisha.
No, she is not a tiny
I'm just
geisha.
saying she is a regular woman. That
She's not a
Tell her to
big
jump
geisha.
when you pull.
No.
Tom's like, this is my wife, big geisha.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying to lift any human with a pulley system.
Steady!
It's
It's
not like a feather.
All 3 men hoist the girl!
Unless she is like a circus performer, she's going to be over 100 pounds. That's all I'm saying. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not going to be 82 pounds.
You got the guns? Come on.
No, but I'm saying,
So you would already have the rope suspended from like, you'd already have it in like a what are those, a joist?
Well, how would you
Or
get her
you'd
up
have
there?
it- Oh, how would you get
Like,
her up
how
there?
would you suspend? You would have to a roof.
A crank system.
No,
A
roof. A crane on a roof.
No. Well, then I got to install.
Talk to Matt Mormon of Obsessed Garage. I'm sure he has some kind of thing.
You get a boom pole.
Well,
Yeah.
You get a boom pole, you swing her out over the pool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like
That'd be pretty
now,
fun.
That'd be pretty awesome.
am I installing machinery into
Yeah,
my walls?
if you
here?
want.
Like
Not machinery.
a crank.
Well, a pulley is a simple system. I went to science class.
Well, yeah, but the pulley,
It's a simple system.
You have to, it's like lifting grain on a pirate ship. Like there has to be. You know what I'm saying? Like
they didn't do a lot of grain, more opium.
Anyway,
Silk, a lot of silk trading.
back to the sex room for a second. So
Sure.
when you're showing someone your house,
Deborah's so good at this now. She knows exactly what to bring to just send us in 1,000 directions.
because I've been thinking about this ever since we mentioned how to build a
what,
sex
you're
room.
building a sex room?
No, well,
You're going to have to watch a show.
it's
I'm watching it.
too.
once you build it, is
They will
it
come.
Hey!
Ah, she does well.
there's two things. First, do you show it to people when you do your stereotypical house tour?
No.
When you're walking
No.
through, like, or
That's yours.
Or do you just walk by the door and then you show them all the other, like, this is the guest room, this is our guest bathroom, and then there's one room
This is the sex room.
Well, what's really interesting, because they did a variety of options here. They had one couple, it was like a trap door that went down in their basement. Like, you would never know
A trap
where that
door?
was. It was crazy. I don't even know how they got the equipment down there.
A trap
But-
door like that murderer.
It was crazy. But they also had like a secret bookshelf that opened up into the room. Like you would know.
I've always
that-
wanted one of
yeah,
those.
Right? But they also just updated people's bedrooms and made it more fun and more interesting. Now, I'm not sure about, the bolting in a stripper pole that you can't remove, but they still had all that kind of
right.
stuff, so I think that the idea is sparking imagination. What could you do just to kind of liven up or make your room more conducive? Maybe it's just making it spa-like, and they did a lot of that too. They put a hot tub on somebody's back porch, but then secluded it so that they
nice.
could enjoy fun times in their hot tub.
So you can do stuff.
So, yeah.
I thought of something, and you just reminded me. I think I have an invention that you could sell at Fair Villa somehow, and it would actually work because one of the scariest parts about stripper poles with people is, you put those ones that are like removable in your house, and you fall over, right? And you end up hurting yourself. And we've all been to parties where you see the frat boy like spinning around, and the next thing he's like he's launching into the old Aquos TV and knocks it through the window.
Yep.
I always thought it would be just common sense to figure out a way and it could be a special mattress or something, but why doesn't the stripper pole go into the bed mattress? And then you surround it almost like skydivers do, where they put the beanbags around those indoor skydiving.
Yeah,
they
so
always
when you
have
fall
padding.
off.
So there should be a way where whatever you're doing, you should be on padding, and you should practice on padding.
Or just a simple inflatable
Something, yes, just
circle.
a loop that goes around.
You pump it up with
a mattress, a loop, or something that just goes around there and keeps you from hurting yourself. Because you always see these videos. What's the number one video on YouTube? Fail Army. It's some lady stripping, and she kicks her kid in the face, and then they both fall over.
Yeah, because they think that it's like the shower curtain thing where you just tighten by hand and it just tightens against the wall.
Yeah.
Like that's not strong enough to hold a human being that's hanging off, like using, and not only hanging off,
You're spinning
around.
Centrifugal force.
Yeah,
You're unscrewing what you just screwed in.
Yeah.
You're putting 180 pounds of pressure on this thing that it's not screwed into the wall, so of course it flies off.
I don't know. I've thought of that before. What else we got?
Also kind of triggered my thought process from that show is because I had to watch it and take notes for hours. They introduced a lot of really beautiful fetish, like handcuffs and things like that in different color. It wasn't just black; it were soft colors, teals and pinks and things like that.
Those are pretty.
I've forgotten to remind people that it doesn't have to look scary. We have some beautiful leather, non-leather items. I brought a really cool piece just to show, the type of thing that, this is a collar, but it is leather, but it is black and teal. It's really, really cool.
Nice. Go Jaguars.
Yeah, there you go.
Like this one, right?
I also have,
wow, that's so soft.
I also have something that's a little more decorative. It could be really fun for festival. You can hear all the hardware on it, but it is glitter. It is pink
nice.
glitter. This is not leather. It is made by one of our leather companies. They're fantastic, but this beautiful sparkle chain link collar.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. This
Yeah,
is
I think we have it
fancy.
in red and a blue sparkle too. We're kind of testing the water white. I think they're going to do super well for costuming, but also I think people who are looking to kind of liven up their bedroom
These
might be
collars
interested.
or chokers, though, or whatever you want to call them, are just, I see people wearing these out.
Absolutely.
The lady at one of the dispensaries over the weekend had on a really thick,
Cool.
and it definitely could have been something that came from Fair Villa. It
We're
was-
updating all of our collars. People ask for what they call day collars. So things things that they could wear that are more dainty. So we're going to have some of those
Like
things arriving for Christmas.
more narrow, maybe?
Yeah,
It's not
narrow,
quite as
very
chunky.
decorative. Yeah.
You know, in like Mad Max and these apocalyptic movies,
Yeah, they
or the end
always
of the
have
world,
a little person in the gimp mask on the back of the muscle man.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy.
But they're always they always have elaborate leather like cufflinks and necklaces and like all leather like around their entire body.
It's expensive. It's no joke.
But I'm looking at it like you got up that like this morning and it's the end of the world. You're in the desert and you bothered to put on all your cufflinks and your leather accessories.
Yes.
Every single day.
Yes. I worked
Why
with a
you're
guy.
doing this?
I worked with a guy who did this. I went to school with a tuba player in band that every morning he would get up and he'd put on 2 leather Viking cuffs, bracers, and then 5 rings on each hand.
Well,
That was their jewelry.
Yeah, that's
that was
their
it,
look.
their look.
It's their look.
but it's the end of the world.
You don't have a look.
You're driving a dune buggy with spikes on it.
That's part of the look.
Yeah. But the look for who? It's the end of the world. You're
Just
It's gotta be
fashionable at the end of the
intimidating.
world.
Yeah.
Just because it's
Trying
the
to
end of the
find
world
water.
doesn't mean you have to look like an idiot.
like, aren't you starving and dehydrated?
I am, but I look good doing it.
Right.
Sorry.
And also, a lot of the products that this person from the show would present or put into these rooms or ask about were things that we carry, which is fantastic. So we have like display tables with some of the items on there. Like
awesome.
Womanizer is in the show.
Yes.
Some of the Cal Exotic products are in the show. She loves to show these Enjoy plugs. Enjoy makes metal toys, and they're stainless steel, super high quality. This one's $65.99. So it's just
Oh,
it's a little anal plug.
That's a lot less expensive than I thought for something. Oh my God.
We have larger pieces, great for sensory play. Warm them up, cool them down. But they're, it's steel, so it's hygienic and lots of fun. But they are, they're heavy, but they'll last forever.
Substantial.
I pierced my ear. Got one dangle.
The guy that the Imagineer that has that. There's that one Imagineer in all the Disney documentaries, and he has one gigantic big metal gauge that hangs from his saggy earlobe. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he's crazy. That guy, that is.
This is heavy.
Yeah,
It is heavy.
I was looking at that, and I'm just not to brag, but I think I could do that.
It's
Is that-
small. It's not
Is that
intimidating.
an easy breezy?
Yeah.
Is that like a junior? I can do
that's
that.
the smallest
Yeah,
one
I
that
can do
they.
that.
We
All day
do
long.
carry
Yeah.
larger
Yeah.
pieces,
Well-
the plugs and other types of metal toys.
I'm challenging you right now.
What?
You know,
We're doing challenges this week.
Yeah, this is challenge week. I'm challenging you right now.
Crickets for stickets.
Crickets for stickets.
If I did the old Howard Stern,
How large can you go? What diameter can you go?
Anyway,
They call me Road Cone Danny.
after I got home tonight, I would be like, I should have done that. So certain things I'll have regret. I'll be like, oh, yeah. Like, just
It's like, how was your day?
yeah. I'm playing with my sons. I hope they don't hear this episode.
And you won, so you're having to hide your trophy.
Yeah. They'll never go back and listen to it.
No.
It's
My
too
daughter-
many.
yeah,
It's just baby. And in the future, this will be buried in the internet garbage. Digital garbage.
This is digital garbage.
Digital landfill.
Probably not good to say that in front of a client.
No,
Don't worry, client. This is all digital garbage.
I'm sorry, this is gold. Digital gold, man.
But
It's going to live forever.
Yeah, it will live forever,
you.
but it'll be in the internet. Like 10 years from now, like this will be available on the internet to find, like the YouTube show of this, the podcast.
It'll be lost. Lost forever.
You'll have to be pay for storage at a certain point, right? Like
No.
they can't store the YouTube videos forever. Like 10
I've
trillion
never
gigabytes.
thought
You know
about
what I'm saying? Like, are they going to store all YouTube videos forever? At a certain point, they'll be like, we can't store all this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we'll have to delete 3 of them. Every day we delete 5 videos so we can fit 5 more on.
Sounds like my email.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're doing with him. Have you had that problem? We're doing that with him now.
Oh, yeah.
You
Do you
got,
have-
you got a
I'm real
Gmail
bad.
account?
I have so many email accounts.
Oh, he has a bunch
I keep
too.
filling them up.
I was about to buy the extra space, but then Daniel told me it was an extra. How much was it?
Well, you have like 16 gigs of just videos and pictures.
It was like we paid $300. It'll be $600 for the high.
That's ugly. That's ugly.
And I'm like $300, and I'm like, I'll just come on. I'm responsible enough to go in there and delete it, and then Sam has to show me how to delete the bigger files. then it's one page at a time. I'm like, and then I'm like seeing how efficient I could go with like select all delete, select all delete. And
you
like,
try to get into a rhythm.
And then I'm like, it's 2022. We have to select all delete one page at a time.
Yeah,
that's insane. Can I just delete everything?
No. Neither can my medical marijuana doctor either. He has to go through everything, click them every time.
Back to the sex room.
Yes.
One more thing. I could imagine if I had this because I
think you want this, right?
Well,
there's a reason your wife keeps bringing it up. I mean, maybe she thinks you guys need a sex room.
I do have a unique room attached to my bedroom that we use as our office and also our closet. And so it goes like our bathroom, bedroom, and then office and closet, and then it goes out into the back patio. But
so you go wash it off.
But that room, so right there, the hot tub.
That's what I'm saying.
But in that room, it does lend itself for a chair, which now my wife's rower is at, that she never uses. But the chair.
I thought you were supposed to be rowing too.
He wants to do a different kind of rowing, you know? He wants to row.
Different kind of workout.
There's a lot of shoes I trip over. But anyway, so this is the problem, though. If we did set up a sex room, right
next to the rower,
well,
can I row while you guys are having sex?
The problem is then I feel, because I have this problem, where I pressure my wife too much.
Well, you put a little note on the chair?
No, just I'd be standing by it at all times.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean?
No, just like I'd be like, she'd come out of the bathroom, be sitting on the chair.
Don't you want to sit down?
And then I feel like my wife would be like, quit pressuring me all the time because...
I got a good move for you. Sex chair in there, she comes out and you're like, I got something to tell you. You might want to sit down. Right?
That's nice.
But didn't know she would be like, stop wanting to use the chair.
Stop wanting to have sex with me.
At all times. Because it's like, because I...
Hold on a second. I have never had my wife say, stop wanting to have sex with me at all times.
I'm sure
that's impossible to stop.
Well, I'm sure...
I can't turn that off.
I'm sure she yelled at you, quit, leave me alone.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying,
that's what I'm saying.
If they're asking us to turn off wanting to have sex with them at all times, that's an impossible ask.
Well, I know.
I can't do that.
But it's the pressure that we put on them at all times.
I don't put pressure. I try to. I write it in the calendar.
Oh, you schedule it in. Yeah.
Because that's how she is. I got to speak her love language.
I need to figure out how to manipulate my wife.
No, it's just you got to find what she likes. So Andrea likes to get a heads up. So I'll give her, even though I hate it. I hate giving a heads up. I hate it.
But my wife wants to be, that's why it works out your wife's logical. She's like, schedule it.
Correct.
My wife thinks that is unromantic.
I do too. But I got to get it somehow.
Yeah, well, then I'd schedule it. But my wife would be like, this is.
It's either schedule it or go blank yourself. And I'm just tired of that.
She's like, it has to naturally happen, and it has to happen with you being romantic.
That's what I want with Andrea. I want Andrea to I want her to I don't know, we're standing in the holiday, and I want her to be walking by, and then, Maisie went to dance, and I want her to just, I don't know, push me up against the wall, and then we start kissing her, and I push her up against the wall, and then I rip her clothes off. That's what I want. I want, the movies, but that's not real life, man. No. That stuff doesn't happen.
I like the schedule, 3:30.
That's what I got.
Yeah. I got a hard out. No, just saying.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Deborah's here, man. What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
At 3:48, it's done.
You want it done?
We're on the business.
3:48, it's Gatorade time.
Anyway, sorry, Deborah.
Is there anything else you brought that
I didn't bring anything else, but apparently I didn't need to.
We hit it all.
Yeah,
we hit it all.
We did.
Oh, my God.
We went through the whole 2 segments.
I cannot believe that.
Fairville Megastore, there's multiple locations. One on OBT, that's where the Megastore is at.
Yep.
One on the coast. There's one on International Drive. There's one in Secrets Hideaway.
Indeed.
I finally hit up the one on iDrive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We just
hadn't been in there
reworked
before.
that store. It looks amazing.
That's awesome.
And of course, Key West.
Yes.
Next time you're down there.
If you're there, pop in. I'm still giving prizes for people. Look, if you prove to me you were there, snap a selfie of you on the doorstep, and I'll send you something.
Thanks, Deborah, for coming in. We appreciate it.
We love seeing you. Give everybody there, your staff and your team, some love from us, and
We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got a guest from the Orange County Library System, and we're going to talk BattleBots.
We are indeed. Vanya Walker's on the line with us right now. I was going to say on the phone, but nobody uses phones anymore.
Yeah, it's all video phone. I knew this is the future Star Trek.
Exactly. But hey, thanks so much for your time, and thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for hosting us. We're really excited to be here.
Well, you guys do like the coolest stuff in Orlando, and we take advantage of it. In fact, my daughter, this looks like something I might have to sign her up for, because today we are talking about the topic, a big topic in the Dennis household, BattleBots. Where are you, Tom? Because I don't know if you've watched the latest BattleBots that's on TV right now, and you can find it on demand.
TV.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and they've got multiple seasons and brackets and hundreds of robots, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, the Sin City Slugfest is going on right now, and it is so exciting with the BattleBots universe.
Sin City Slugfest, baby.
Sin City Slugfest.
So, Vanya, tell us about the BattleBots Combat Robotics Club at OCLS.
This is something that we have had on our minds for a really long time. So we have been really lucky to be supported by the Mayor's Matching Grant from the city of Orlando.
Yeah, money.
And it's enabled us to buy robots, to buy parts, and now to get kids in the arena and actually slug it out with these things.
And this is the best part, that Tom, we're taking this money and buying parts and destroying the stuff we buy.
Well, that's
the best part.
Let's talk about, there is an age requirement from 11 to 17, which is good, by the way, because if I brought my son, they can't sit still long enough.
That's also Seth Petrozelli's age requirement is 11 to 17.
There's 7 and 8.
I'll cut that out.
So I feel like they need to be a little older, and that's good that you have 11 to 17.
Have you seen the latest BattleBots? It's dangerous, man.
Well,
it's awesome.
Vanya, tell me about like what the kids get to do as far as like are they building? I imagine they're miniature robots. Like the people in the real BattleBots. No,
they're pretty big.
Okay.
So these are the robots. They are miniature in terms of what you see in BattleBots, because BattleBots are 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Those things could kill
These
a
are
human.
significantly smaller, but they are building these from scratch. They don't start built like this. They learn about the electronic components. They learn about all of the engineering that goes onto this. We challenge them to engineer additional parts to make their BattleBot even more dangerous. And,
that's awesome.
We also have them battle in an arena. And in the arena, sorry about my lighting, arena is something where they'll be able to face off and really go toe-to-toe, score points, and have a lot of fun. So we're really, really excited about
you
this.
have the particular bot that you're holding, if you're watching us on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or on YouTube later, Tom and Dan Live, the bot that she's holding has that, like a twirly blade on it, like a whack. See, there it goes.
Don't do this at home.
Yeah.
This is really unsafe.
So
but that's the weapon working.
Yeah. That thing, when it whacks you, it'll get you good.
Okay,
and that's the kind of stuff that would break a human leg. That's why they can't have if they had a full size robot in there swinging the way that Tom, and let me tell you, Orlando comes correct when it comes to like real BattleBots. We have a lot of real teams based out of Orlando because we have a lot of tech companies in Orlando. So we have a lot of bot teams in this town, and those things are murderous, man. They're dangerous.
So, Vanya, first, I think this is great for kids learning about engineering and putting together, basically a remote controlled robot that can fight another robot. It's, and
the show is better than ever. It's better than it's ever been.
So, Vanya,
it is.
Let's talk about the show for a second, and then the weapons.
The bots blow up now. They explode.
Well, okay.
They fly into the audience. Like, it's crazier than it's ever been.
Dan, did you see Hypershock in the Sin City Slugfest? That was a beast.
Not only
Robot nerds.
From top to bottom. Now, Sam, from top to bottom, this show has done it right. Yeah, like some of the knockouts that you get this well, I just started watching it again since like when I was a kid. But they've pumped money into it now. The arena's bigger and has more like different hammers that can smash the bots. They have an announcer now that writes these little rhymes about each bot. So there's like personas. Each person has like almost like a There's villains now. There's like good guys now.
They're trying to make
They're wrestling it up.
Film.
Yeah, they wrestle it up a little bit.
But Vanya, let's talk the actual weapons, because I feel like there's one tried and true weapon, and a lot of the rest of them are fluff. And I'll explain. And the biggest fluff weapon is the flamethrower, and I've seen this throughout the history of BattleBots, where it's
a vanity weapon for sure.
Someone incorporates a flamethrower, and it never actually does any damage to it. Just shoots up in the air, and it looks exciting, but it doesn't do anything to actually, like, I've never seen a flamethrower actually torch
then you
another
have to watch
robot.
This season. Then you have to watch this season.
The only exception to that I've seen is Gruff. Gruff is actually a Florida bot, and Gruff's main weapon, it does flip, but it has two giant flamethrowers, and these are not show flamethrowers. These are flamethrowers where they melt the inside.
It's more like a blowtorch, less like a flame.
And I would agree with you. Largely, they're fluff. Largely, they're show. They're cool to look at, but they don't really do anything.
What I liked is there was one, and I figure you'll probably know. It sounds like you know more about each episode, but there was one where the bot was already damaged, but they melted the tire treads.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
They used the flamethrowers because the bot was already immobilized, so they just came over, and then they started I'm going to catch your tires on fire now.
Because that's the best.
It's so insulting.
It's a fine line between showmanship and effectiveness, and Vanya will know what I'm talking about.
You have a little bit of both.
Because I feel like, if you can get showmanship and effectiveness, then you got the best BattleBot. But most of, I remember watching it back in the day, there would be one bot that would basically just be a flipper bot, and it would
flipper bots are the most boring bot.
It is the most boring, but they're the most
Good
effective.
defense.
You know what the
they
flipper
would just
bot
go over and then hook the forklift forks under it, and then flip you over, and then win every time.
Flipper bots have a lot in common. Vanya, I'm going to make a lot of people mad when I say this. Flipper bots have a lot in common with all of you nerdy jujitsu guys out there. I know that what you do
where you get
is
on the floor and
effective.
kick
I know
up?
it's effective. I know that you can. I know that you can defend yourself. I know that you can choke people out. But it is the most boring. Oh my god, you're on the ground again.
You'll get
choking
booed
them out.
in UFC.
So
Now, have you
boring.
guys seen the new flipper bots? Bronco isn't so new, but Hydra, have you guys seen those flipper bots?
Hydra,
because
is that the one that throws the bots into the crowd?
it actually, it gets under there, and it has so much torque, it can flip it up, and it actually hits the lights.
It tumbles
in the top of the stadium, which are way high up.
You got to watch this with your sons. They throw and then if I remember correctly, the episode you're talking about, the bot falls down, and just the impact of it being in the sky and falling, parts fly off of it. The show's awesome, man.
Because I think you guys are absolutely right. Like traditional flipper bots where they're just flipping you over and you can't work. That's not exciting.
Yeah, super boring.
The more modern flipper bots are really great.
And I like a thick blade bot.
Well, I like
a bot with not a razor blade, not a buzzsaw. I like the blade to be a 4 inches thick, rotating drum, and then it's just tearing parts off of other robots.
You like something like this.
Yes. There we go.
Where you got a nice thick
So
blade.
I can build that?
You can build that.
For $90, Tom, if I were 11 to 17, I could build that.
Oh.
And you know
what if you're
the great
40?
thing is not only can you build it, you get to take it home. It's yours to keep. So we're teaching the kids not only the electronics and the engineering, but also the showmanship. So, Tom, you were saying that it really is a dance between the showmanship part of it and the battle part of it and the electronics part of it. And really what we see here is the showmanship part of it's just as important. So the kids are going to learn to brand it. They're going to be decorating it. They're going to be customizing it.
You got to get a name. You got to name your bot.
It has to have a name. And actually, I was going to ask you guys, I have these two bots.
Tom and
they
Dan.
have no names.
Tom and Dan.
No, well,
So if
that's
you guys
boring.
have ideas, are these Tom and Dan bots?
No, hold
Okay.
on. Let me see with you, because it's got to be. And Vanya, the name has to make sense with the overall feel of the bot. So if it's Sling Blade, he's got to have blades.
You can't do that one now. You can't do that one now. You're making fun of special needs people now.
No, hold on. What
the hell's wrong with you? You can't do
No,
that.
he says a local simpleton.
Just a local simpleton. Welcome to the arena, Arbot Simpleton.
But all I'm saying, if it's if it's a bot that has hammer. It's got to be like Thor or Smasher. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be. It's got to go with the theme of the thing.
Thor.
It does.
You know,
or Smasher.
Vanya knows.
Yeah,
so,
but I think Vanya and even Samantha's going to come up with something a little more creative than.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That can't be Tom and Dan.
Thor.
Let me complain about buzzsaws for a second.
Okay.
Do
you want Vanya on the line for the buzzsaw complaints?
Well, because Vanya,
this woman has stuff to do.
You'll understand. And again, you can find out how to sign up for this course at ocls.info. It starts September 14th, and there's also some camps November through December. They're like separate mini camps, correct, Vanya?
Yes, for those we're going to be using Legos, and who doesn't love Legos? And the kids are going to design their own weapons, and then they're going to tear each other's Legos apart. It's going to be great.
That's fantastic. By the way, Dennis family, we use these camps because we have a very spicy kid, and during the holidays, spicy kids don't de-spice. That's a term that I invented. You have to get them in camps, or they will literally go crazy because they need to be stimulated with cool stuff like this.
We love spicy kids here at the library.
Oh yeah. And you know my kid.
Vanya, I see that the out of district fee is $90, but so if you have your card, is it free?
It's free.
That's ridiculous.
Well, hold on a second. What? I messed up then. I didn't know that. I thought it was $90 for everybody, and I still I was okay with that because it's $10 a session.
It's completely free. And
they got those grants.
Hold on.
Those grant monies.
The mayor's matching grant, you get to keep the bot. You
Hell
take it
yeah.
home. It's yours.
So Mayor Buddy Dyer's gifting kids with library cards
Killer bots.
a murder bot.
Yeah.
Murder bots.
I paid $750 for my kids'
I don't
swim
know why
class.
you keep doing that when you can just go to the library.
Swim! They have a pool at home.
It's ridiculous.
And I watch it. They're back and forth teaching them.
You could have taken them to the Star Cruiser.
At the Orange County Library System, we're swimming in knowledge.
Let me complain about blades. So what I never liked about the bladed battle bots, although it seems like they had the most success,
they never get a hit.
Well, when they do get a hit, though, in my mind, I want it to be like the movies where the blade cuts their opponent in half.
Hot butter.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, the sparks of all. But because of physics, all it does is when the tip of it just shoots the other bot of like away from them because the blade just catches them and flings.
Okay, you haven't been watching. That's why, and Vanya knows what they've done is they've taken that blade, right? They've reversed it, so now it comes up. It doesn't go down anymore. Now it comes up. And then they've thickened a little bit, and they use that as like half buzzsaw, half flipper, where you have this thing reversing, so when it comes up to you now, boom, and it throws you into the rafters.
I like that.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Vanya,
free. I can't get over free. I said $90. I was wrong. It's free. That's crazy.
Free.
If you're out of district, you can pay your $90, but still, that's a value. You're getting 9 one-hour classes. You're learning, and then you get a free bot at the end. It's like, good
that's
Lord,
amazing,
man. There's less training goes into motorcycle classes at Harley Davidson dealerships, and then they tell people you can ride a motorcycle anywhere.
Yeah. We're about to do a segment with Tracy after this where $10,000 when we go to the Star Wars hotel, and you have to buy your own robes. Anyway, so. What's your favorite weapon?
Good question.
In all of BattleBots.
Oh well, I really like vertical spinners, and I love our Florida bots. So Witch Doctor, Hypershock, and then we have a horizontal spinner rotator. They're excellent.
Have
bots.
You seen Witch Doctor?
And I have to say my absolute favorite is Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
It's a Miami bot.
Yeah.
They're really involved in the community.
They have
take
costume.
time to teach kids how to actually build the bots for competition, and they're really just a great team.
Yeah, Witch Doctor. They all
What's
wear
the Witch Doctor's weapon?
They all wear top hats. The crazy
They have a vertical. They're very similar to this. It's like a vertical spinner that's more. It's like a drum. It's a little bit thicker.
Yeah, it's a thicker
and
drum.
it spins vertically. That's what Witch Doctor has.
Yeah, and Witch Doctor, there's some controversy. You got to watch this. You guys both. There's controversy. Witch Doctor ended up beating this one bot, but he was pretty close. And then it looks like they're going to get into a fist fight at the end. They start yelling at each other, and the judges have to pull them apart. And then the one team has to go and apologize, and they're like, "We don't think the judges were right." And it was really good season. I was very impressed.
But what are the rules as far as like there's got to be weight rules in like the regular battle bots, and
Yes.
so there's weight rules and there's weapon rules, correct?
Yes, there are weight and weapon rules, and there are different classes. So if you think about the classes in any kind of fight, like if you're boxing, right, there are different weight classes. It's the same thing for BattleBot. So you can start very small, less than a pound.
Wow.
And then probably the most popular for people who are just getting into it is the pound weights. So they weigh a pound, they have to weigh less than a pound. And then there are weapon requirements, like a lot of times you can't have fire. Even though we've talked fire is not very effective, you can't have fire in some of the lower
Well,
matches.
it's not
or in
effective
certain
against the
tournaments.
other bots, but it can be effective against the crowd as the building burns down around them.
Can you shoot a net? Like I feel like a well-placed net shot would tangle
look at
up
this
in
guy.
a bot. You know, I'm just
Vanya, look at
asking-
this nerd over here with his nets.
No.
I will slice you and dice you.
You can't have any projectiles, right?
You can actually in BattleBots. There is a team that shoots projectiles. They are run by 3 lawyers. And I'm trying to remember their name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Tom,
But
there's so many-
they're 3 lawyers, and they shoot these. They're about this big. They shoot these giant projectiles.
There's also
they're
a bot.
super fun.
Does it work?
One of my favorite bots, but it's one of the worst bots, is there's this long bot. I forget the name of it. It's called like Squib or something, and it's got an engine on one end or like a motor on one end of it with a wheel.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, no exaggeration, I want to say it's like 11 feet long, and then there's another wheel on the other end of it, and it has no weapons, and it's like a wheelie worm. It's like real bendy, and all it does is push the bot into the
Smee!
Shmee. It's a crazy, it's like a wiggly bot, but it doesn't really have any weapons other than it just pushes you around.
It has 2, but they're kind of tiny. There are 2 weapons on either side, and so the idea is that it hugs you.
Yeah.
And then it hits you with the weapons when it hugs you, but most of the time it doesn't actually.
Yeah,
do that.
it usually loses,
So-
but it's just such a weird and bizarre design, and the guy that has the bot the show has done a great job in actually making characters that like I remember, and it's funny that you and I both remember that. They've done a good job in rebranding that. It's really, the show's quite good.
Now, I haven't watched the new.
I think your boys would dig it.
But there is an element, and I don't know if maybe no one would want this, but I feel like the audience would, and I would. Is the bot that loses has to go in the crusher that is and then you get to watch all the work from one of the teams, and then it just gets crushed into oblivion.
There are elements of this in that they don't have a crusher.
Yeah.
They don't have a crusher, but they don't step in when bots are demobilized or immobilized. So you have guys that are coming in. There's a bot that's literally useless, and the guy's coming over with his buzz on. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you so good."
Like Vanya, I would like in the kids class, like whatever bot lost, like you just walk in the ring and just start stomping it in front of the team that you're like, well, you lost,
sorry.
and now I stomp your bot to a million pieces. Sorry.
Stomp bots.
So Vanya, how do people sign up for this?
Well, they go to our website, they go to ocls.info, and if they search under classes and events for BattleBots, 2 words, they will find all of our BattleBot offerings, and then they can just register with their library card. If they don't have a library card with us yet, they can always sign up on our website as well.
Awesome.
Again, 9-part, 1 hour per day from 4:30 to 5:30, September 14th when it starts. This is an awesome program offered to for free for
really
card
cool,
members.
man.
It's crazy. Vanya, it was great talking to you today.
Great. Thank you. You too, guys.
And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Great. Thank you.
See ya. She knows all about the battle bots.
Yeah, she did.
It's amazing what kind of things like OCLS offers that they get. Like,
They get them grants.
I'm
Like, you know how
sorry,
much
I screwed
camps
that
go?
we
up.
got to sign up for one of those grants.
I'm
We need a
sorry.
grant.
I don't know why I said that. I wasn't trying to be racist. I didn't mean I sorry. I'm sorry. I messed that up, and I didn't know it was free. I just looked at my little paper and I saw $90, and I go, "Oh, that sounds like less than $100 for a BattleBot and 9 parts." Yeah, that's fair.
or if you're outside of Orange
The
County.
district, yeah.
It's
But
still
if you're
a value.
if you're an Orange County resident,
yeah, but you get to that counts for all the supplies and everything.
Yeah.
You get to keep the bot. Hell yeah.
I mean, it was a $10 a class.
Right.
It's
That's what I'm
insane.
saying.
Exactly.
Even at $10 a class, and you get to keep it. I mean, it's not like they're gouging you at all.
I mean, nothing's $10 anymore.
I know.
No.
There's nothing. Like,
I know.
I go.
Can't even park for $10.
My smoothie every morning is
No.
$10.
Whoa.
I'm like, what? Did peanut
Gross.
butter go
Yeah.
up?
And
What
don't
the hell?
even get me started if you want to add a blast in there. You want some extra energy or some B12.
I think the vitamin blast I've been getting is a scam. I'm like, how do I know that powders are actually vitamins? There'd be no
You
way for me
don't.
to taste
Kratom.
it. You know what I'm saying? It could just be any sugar powder.
Let's talk about
That's why your
Kratom.
throat's getting all messed up.
What happened to Kratom? I don't see as many people doing it. Did they all die?
No, they're still out there.
They're still out there?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't seem as popular.
I see it on like any head
I
shop.
see the light up gas stations. Yeah.
Yeah. It advertises Kratom.
Oh, my God, I never
Big
seen
green
those.
Kratom. Oh, yeah. I look.
Me and Tom go to some sketchy places.
You're in Baldwin Park. You never leave. There's no Kratom shop here. I live in Castleberry.
I want a Kratom shop here.
But they won't allow it.
Maybe I'll open it. Baldwin Kratom.
They'll never allow it.
Baldwin Park Kratom.
You go down the street, Castleberry.
But I'll spell it.
Anything.
I'm going to spell it like Baldwin Park Kratom Shoppy.
I like that.
H-O-P-P-E-E.
Yeah.
Fancy it up a little bit. Kratom Bar. Come on in.
Yeah. No, a shoppy makes
Come on in. Oh, yeah, your dog with doggles is allowed. Come on in. Come in to the old Kratom Shoppy. It's just me, Danny Diddy, your friendly Baldwin Park Kratom boy. Kratom man.
All right. Bye-bye.
I've always wanted to do that with this show. Like, I almost feel like, okay, this is the first time we've mentioned this. The Orlando Weekly I call them the podcast awards. The Orlando Weekly Awards I think they're announced tomorrow.
The 10,000 awards.
Yeah, and I feel like we've won it so much that, and we didn't mention it. Like we're sick of it at this point.
Well,
now.
we stopped mentioning it years ago.
Yeah, years ago, and then now we're over mentioning it, and the people will be like, "Well, it used to matter to you," and my answer to that would be yes, it did. But now it doesn't, you could change. You're allowed to change your mind on things, and you're allowed as a human to think something was good. Mm-hmm. Years ago, 10 years ago when we won it, we needed to win it.
Well,
now it's stupid, and I think it's dumb. But I feel like it's time to board up the snake oil, put it all on the wagon, and we ride over to Tampa.
Okay, start a business
Ride
again.
over to Tampa and start it up again.
So much work, though.
I know.
Like,
And our tent's wet now.
Like, I need to be forced out of town with people with fire.
Yes, I would need to be tarred and feathered.
Like, I won't leave unless you look out the window and they're waiting for me.
Yeah,
and then
we
we're
need to
gonna get out
become
the back.
pariahs
Yeah.
of the city. And they need to chase us out of town.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, all right.
So
Well, good job, buddy.
Keep
it up.
And I feel like this. In my mind now, gambling's completely legal. So I'm just openly doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself,
That's how I feel like hard drugs.
no one is ever going to care that you're openly gambling, right? With proof.
Well, you always say,
Remember
here's
the old-
problem
if
with what you just said. You put right on the end of it. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
You need to stand firm with no one will ever arrest us for running a gambling ring in Orlando.
No, running a ring is different. I'm talking about like a betting.
Oh, I thought we were starting a gambling ring.
No, that's when they'll get you because then there's tax. They'll get you for like tax evasion and stuff and like
pay
money
taxes.
and like
I pay taxes.
and-
I pay a lot of taxes.
They always get you for mail fraud. That's a thing they get the mobsters for all the time. It's like mail fraud. It's like he's killed 20 people. Mail fraud
Or wiring fraud.
wire fraud. Yeah. And I think that it's a loose law that you can pin on people.
It's also a federal offense.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
how they get you. So I think that's
So they get you to do the time.
yeah.
I'm not doing time.
Anyway.
I'm not going back to jail again.
I will give him a hat if you give me a good enough bet. That's almost a if
Or a
it's
picture of your wife's top half. Straw hat. Tom and Dan, your wife's top half straw hat giveaway.
Top
half
or top
yeah,
hats?
it's top half straw hat.
Where do they submit it?
Dan at tomanddan.com.
Hold on, I want to.
I'll share.
Yeah, but you won't share it all.
We'll put it,
CC.
CC us on it.
CC me.
CC Tom on it.
Yeah.
And
By the way, I put up
big
some,
or little, tiny or small, we lock them all.
I put up a email me for a free plant giveaway deal. And then people are like, "What's your email, Tom?"
I love that. I love those
Yeah,
questions.
Over all these years, you'd never heard us say like,
I like when I tell someone, email me your mailing address so I can send out whatever it is, and then they email me their email address.
Yeah, I've had that happen before.
I've had that happen a lot.
But I've never had anybody mail me their email address. I would like, if you do that, I'll send you a straw
Something
hat.
extra, yeah.
And a picture of my
Get a
wife's
little
top
something
hat.
But it's just our name at tomanddan.com. It's the easiest thing, I think.
It actually would make more sense if I were
It's also
Dan.
the website.
I should be Dan at tomann.com, and you should be Tom at anddan.com.
Well,
That makes more sense.
Well, that's more complicated.
Well, I don't like the double Dan and the double Tom. I just feel like that's a little confusing.
All right.
Next email.
Radio secrets.
Yes.
Good day, T&D crew. Is the whole caller number 9 thing a sham?
Yes.
Do they actually count how many calls they get, or
No.
does some intern just randomly select a call to be the winner?
Yes. Yeah, all of that stuff's fake.
Yes. Think about who is doing it. It's
all
me.
all of that
it
is
was me
100%
at one
fake.
time.
You know what I just
It was
figured out we
It's a
are?
bunch of me's, and they're getting paid nothing.
Oh my God, you know what we are? We are the Penn and Teller, complete with real sizing, of radio.
I bet
We
there's...
pull the curtain back. Then
There's-
we talk about all the garbage that's fake.
Yeah, all the segments that you hear where it's someone either breaking up with their
If it
wife
goes off
live,
the rails, it's fake.
Yeah, it's all actors.
It has to be.
Yeah. It's I mean, now back in the day, like of the peak talk radio days, there used to be real callers every once in a while,
Right.
And the problem is this is what's happening. It's funny too.
It's happening with influencers right now.
Yes.
And they're getting into trouble for it, too, because they're faking a lot of stuff.
I'm watching the same thing happen with social media that was the evolution of radio.
Yeah.
Like, it went through where they were like, what should we do for content?
And television, too. Not as
They're doing
much as
boxing.
radio.
Yeah.
But television, remember Cheaters, is a great example of how television
Yeah.
did the same thing.
And so
I love that show, Sam.
There's a new version of it with Tammy Roman, who's the host, and I kind of want to watch it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the...
So
trailer.
what influencers realize is, especially the ones that got super popular and started turning turning it into a business and making their living, where they got popular for one particular thing, and then they got pigeonholed into doing that thing because now they have 1 million followers,
Yeah.
and people want to see them do the thing. But you can't do it legitimately every time, and you have to put out content. So you start,
Yeah,
faking it a little bit, where it's like the first couple times, it's like maybe a little, like at least the other person, like there's a lot of husband and wife prank each other
And
videos
it's all
on social
fake.
media.
Like, they know a prank's coming.
Exactly. Well, to do it legitimately, it would be a lot more time put into it, and then they realize, well, we'll just fake these, and it doesn't matter. We'll still get the million views or whatever, and that's what it's now all turned into. It's like
Even some of them aren't even like pranks. They're just like, I asked my husband this question. Look at his reaction. You can tell it's a fake reaction. It's just like, please stop.
Yeah.
Like it's literally hurting me inside.
Yeah.
Here's what I blame our society for not refusing to accept it.
We don't shame them enough.
No, we just keep on scrolling because
that's why I always say fake or dumb. I always say dumb.
It's nothing. It's a nothing content, and that's what's happening to a lot of content where it's just meaningless and doesn't mean anything. Like, you think about where like all content would have people that it meant something to them, or like they'd be intently focused on it, or like watching it, or fan clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the social media stuff, it's just so easy just to keep scrolling and look at it, and you're like, and
it's just like junk food.
It's junk food. It's nothing. There's no calories to it. There's no protein in
There's no
it.
substance to it whatsoever.
Yeah. There's no vitamins in it. There's I
Now,
know it sounds
substance,
stupid. but-
whatever happened to it's related, unrelated, because this guy was very popular. What happened to the black guy that stood out in front of the church and said, I'm not gay no more? What happened to that guy?
I don't even know who that is.
He was in my dreams last night. I woke up saying that to Andrea. I said, what happened to that guy? Remember that I'm not gay no more? That guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I just imagine that he had his 15 minutes of social media fame, and then he tried.
I want to know what he's doing right now.
He tried a bunch of "I'm not gay no more" in front of Applebee's and different
So
places.
then I started saying it all morning. I was walking around the house. I was like, I'm not gay no more. And Andrea's like, we have a child. Could you please stop doing that? And I'm like, okay.
I imagine he, just like every person that like had some viral video and they try to make it happen again and can't. It's the Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah,
you know?
oh, so good.
And you're just
they updated that.
You keep pushing it out. You're trying to hit again, and you can never. It's like you're not an entertainer. You're not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like basically you won a lottery. And it's not going to happen again. It's improbable that you're going to win the lottery the second time.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know, if you're the writer of Hamilton, you probably write another good play. If you just filmed your kids bite each other's fingers, you know what I'm saying?
You're thinking of?
If you have the talent, you're most likely going to produce something else that's talented.
Now, I will say I do love the follow-ups to these memes and these people that were famous for 15 minutes. Like, I am sort of borderline obsessed with when they go back and, like, Tosh used to do it. Daniel
the follow-ups.
Yeah, the follow-ups where they go back and they find these people that were, like, only famous for being terrible on the internet, and then they see, well, like, what they're doing now. And I do like that stuff. I'd like to see what happened to him. Like, the Gingers Have No Soul kid. Like, he burned that thing hot. Like, he had a TV show with his family.
Sometimes BuzzFeed will come out with an article of, like, where are they now?
Yeah, I
like,
love
mean
that.
people.
And that guy, that guy, he's always reinventing himself and kind of villainizing himself because he's toxic a little bit. He wants to be famous so bad that he'll do anything. I think this last-ditch effort, and this could be real or not real, I'm trying to be sensitive to it, but I think he tried to present himself as a trans person. You know, it's like his last-ditch effort of like, come on, you got to love me, you got to watch me, please, don't leave me.
Yeah.
And then you see these, I'm obsessed with these people doing it. Like that Nikocado Avocado kid that went from 115 pounds to now he weighs like 400 pounds, dude. Like, the fact that they're willing to, like, take everything that they have, their entire identity, and sell it for these...
For fame,
for these eyes, it's crazy to me.
It's Danny Bonaducci. You'll do whatever it takes to be in the media, or I mean, it's what Howard Stern did. But he did it brilliantly, and also first, where he just learned to manipulate the media and do crazy things, and he realized that the media would give him publicity, right? The king of all media. That's what he, so he was, I mean, he wasn't the first person to do it, I imagine, but he was the person that did it the best at the time, and where he didn't care, he would do salacious stuff, and people would, and from
they would
that,
just make him laugh.
But from that, it turned into however I can get attention.
Yeah.
And the people that were fueled by that and there's a lot of social media influencers that are fueled by the attention, will do whatever it takes to themselves or like to their life to get the attention that they want.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes sad.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not monetizing it and if it's not healthy and it's just like, oh, well, I'm going to do these insane things to get the attention of the internet.
I mean, I don't know if I can do this, but because I'm so in tune with my own feelings and, I'm an empath, I feel like I can look at people and kind of see if they're miserable or not. Like you're looking past them striving for this amount of fame and you're like, oh, yeah, that person they are not happy. You can almost see it.
Some of them probably are. If you
or maybe
talk
they
to
don't
them,
even know what makes them happy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring the show down. Let's get another email. We got time for it.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. Will keys ever be obsolete?
They kind of already are in my life.
I think they will be.
I don't carry keys anymore.
They are inconvenient, and things that are inconvenient seem to turn obsolete.
People got the little keypad locks on their doors.
I will say, though, that I trust them more. The keypad on the door, I still don't like that.
Your battery could
My
mess
car,
up.
It doesn't always lock. I'm very realistic
Someone
about.
can hack it and change your code.
I walk away from my car. It's supposed to lock itself. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't, depending on how good the connection is.
I wish everything was keyless because recently, since my wife put in a window unit in our garage to do the laundry because it's so freaking hot, she puts a lock on the garage door so I don't open it up when I come home and let all the cold air that she's accumulated in there out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So every day I get home and I push the thing.
It's a baby gate for the air conditioner.
Yeah, and then I'm like, God, I get mad I curse, and then I get out of my truck.
Why don't you kick the door open?
And then
radio hosts are you're supposed to break it. You're supposed to break that thing down and scare her. That's what radio hosts do.
And then I go over to my front door and I have a one iron storm door, and then I got the regular front door. and I fumble through my janitor key.
Is that a fancy way to say you have bars on your doors?
No, well, I don't know. It's
iron door.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
They're decorative. They got twists.
Okay.
But it's it's called the storm door, right? It's
like
I got a storm door.
Sliding. No, it's not a sliding glass door. It's like a
lot of people in Florida have them. It's
the door you shoot through when they're serving
it's the door
warrant.
where DoorDash puts the food right in front of, so when you open it,
It's
it
the
knocks over
warrant.
your soda.
Exactly.
They call that a Seminole County warrant door.
I'm going to scream at DoorDash delivery people. Why?
You got to put a sign.
They still do it.
I know.
You see, he flipped. It was like a switch.
Because
they're doing it on purpose.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
They're doing it on purpose.
He's gonna beat me
I think
up.
so too.
Because it's been we've been in the pandemic.
Well, what kind
more
of trash
for
people?
2.5
I've
years.
never ordered DoorDash. I'm not a trash person.
No, but you're insane.
Cook, you should cook. I've never ordered DoorDash.
Everybody does DoorDash.
I've never done it. Not everybody.
But you're the crazy
Grubhub's
outlier.
free now if you have Amazon Prime.
Everybody who's listening to this.
You know what I do? I cook my meal and I go upstairs and I read my car manual.
That's crazy. I'm telling you, everybody who's listening to this that uses.
I haven't used them one time. They don't have my email address.
At
DoorDash.
one point, has used DoorDash or Uber Eats.
Some type of delivery.
Never done
food
Uber
delivery.
Eats. Never done Uber Eats. I'm proud of the fact that I don't even have an account. Don't even have the app on my phone.
How'd you go through the entire pandemic? Never used that one time. But what'd you do
He
during?
had his wife drive to get the food.
No, she's so cheap. She demands on doing that. I've asked her to have pizza. She won't even get a pizza delivered. She's so cheap.
Even in the summer of 2020, that when it was Wuhan.
She was Woo Andrea. She didn't even care. She is so cheap. If they're like, it's a $2 delivery fee, she'll be like, oh, no, I'll be right there. It could be in Titusville. She'll drive there.
What's $1.50 of gas?
You got to talk to her about it. I've done my fighting.
Mental illness.
I vowed with that type of fight. We fought so much over that I vowed to put my sword down. I don't fight that one anymore. I just let her, if you want to go get it, you go get it. Me and Maisie will stay here. It's fine. And we did that in the entire pandemic. One more? Let's do one more.
All right.
I'm enjoying these emails today.
Dumb Lowe's and Home Depot people. Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. Just watching today's show on Twitch and wanted to chime in. Tom, I also worked at Home Depot about 20 years ago when there were still capable people to be found. I applied for stock but ended up working in lumber. At some point between now and then, there was a sharp decline in employee quality. It went from real man master tradesman or tradeswoman employee to just okay, still knowledgeable employee with no actual trade experience. Then COVID happened. Now it's just a vast sea of idiots working everywhere. There's a different word.
Yeah.
Working everywhere with next to zero skill or experience, like straight bottom of the barrel dodos. At my last trip to Lowe's, the cashier had to get his phone out to figure out the total for 2 boxes of 12. He actually had 26 ring up at first. Also, I had a McDonald's hamburger that was so greasy it dissolved the bun. It soaked through the box, a pile of napkins, and the bag was dripping when they handed it to me. Then they couldn't understand what the issue was. Love the show. Keep up the good work, BDM John. Number one, I'll disagree with you that the just okay, still kind of knowledgeable people were before, like you still had that and then COVID happened. That's not true. Because I've been to Home Depot and Lowe's before COVID hit, and there were still dodos in there that didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah, I've been in there and never found.
And also,
the person.
McDonald's burger. It's going to be greasy.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
You know what the issue is?
You're going to
It's
McDonald's for Christ's sake.
But even what he's saying, I think, is there were still like a little bit of a couple tradespeople in there.
Like you could find.
I don't know.
I
I could never get anybody that knew nothing in there.
Well,
I
they would
normally don't
hide.
find anybody.
No.
Like I normally don't even find a person.
And here,
It's impossible.
I don't condone stealing, but here's a reason to steal, and I'm going to put this out there, and I'm fine with it, right? So when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I used to work at Home Depot, when you get chain or when you, I'm trying to think of the other
little washers.
Ropes or any sort of electrical wiring. There's huge spools.
They don't do singles anymore, do they? Like Ace. Like Ace will do single washers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They do singles?
Yes. Yeah. They do single washers and stuff. Now, with all that, in the single washers, you're supposed to take a picture of the
thing,
QR
put
code.
it in the bag.
Well, that's the thing. So, they still have the system where if you need chain, they have to come cut it for you and then measure it and then write a receipt and then they give it to you and then you go to the cashier and then now it's all self-checkout
Should
for
be
the most
a
part.
machine that dispenses it, right?
Then you have to go into the self-checkout menu and then put the amount of chain you get or whatever, like all that stuff, like steal it. I'm okay with stealing it. Everybody who's listening to this, just steal whatever chain you need or washers or whatever, because you are now...
How system of a down of you.
Again, this is very villainous of you.
Yeah, you are Gru.
Here is why I say that. Because good luck finding anybody to measure the chain and give it. You will never find
You
no
won't.
one. No one. No one will be around. And if you go and ask the front desk, the customer service, like, hey, can you send someone over to hardware so they can cut some chain for me and measure or whatever, they'll make the announcement. No one will come. And the person who does come, I have no idea what they're doing. And then they'll stand there and then they'll look at it and then they'll look at their Home Depot manual where they go down the chain cutting. You know what I'm saying? They don't do this.
Oh, they won't have a manual. It'll be videos on an iPad.
And if we all just start stealing it, either A, they'll give up and just start giving it for free, because or they'll just be like, screw it, whatever, it's within the profit and loss that we built in, or they'll actually have someone standing there that is educated and doing ready to go. And you'll force them to do it. Steal all that stuff,
now,
and they force Lowe's and Home Depot, because they can put a dedicated employee there. They just don't want to because of greed.
Do you think it'll shift? Because I'll give you this one as an example. Now, this is food. This isn't a home improvement store. But during the pandemic, right when normal people were starting to just go back out, you'd still walk in with a mask, sit down with a mask, take your mask off, eat, get up, put your mask on, walk. That whole thing. That's kind of done now.
Oh, yeah.
But
also,
when that was going on, but sitting down and doing that, like the wait staff there, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
I will say, right when we first started, we're open, baby, still sort of bad. This past couple weeks or last month, I will say that it seems like things are settling back into normalcy, and the restaurant staff that I've had has been top tier. I mean, every restaurant I go to, went to my favorite Mexican place here. I went to hit up La Fiesta. That might have been the best service I've ever had in my life, and it feels like maybe it's a little more solid again. I don't know. Just throwing some positivity out there. It feels like it's shaking out.
There's, I have to talk to my buddy Fernando, because he's GM of multiple
I'd be
restaurants.
interested to know what he thinks.
But he was having a rough time with the good employees and stuff like that. He just couldn't get them.
To her credit, though, this lady was working a bunch of tables, and she was a great waiter and knew she was a great waiter, and she was ripping through them, making bank, She knew exactly what she was doing.
Well, a lot of businesses, they had to up their prices because to pay their employees more, to be able to get quality employees, so there was a lot of that going on. So I imagine the people that are still in business, especially after all of this, they got it down a pat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And they were able to retain quality employees and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, it killed a lot of businesses, for sure.
Killed a lot of my favorite most little quick serve eateries. Like if you had a little spot that you liked, like it killed the one little Greek spot up here I like to go to get salads and stuff. That's gone. A couple of little smaller things here in Baldwin are gone.
So the back to stealing and the self-checkout.
Well, you got to wrap it up with your stealing.
Okay, well, but when you're asking me to self-checkout, and because you're obviously saving money on you got 4 or 6 self-checkouts.
Oh, when I steal, I go through self-checkout.
That's that
it throws them off the scent.
That's 6 employees that you don't have to pay now, right? So I realize how much money they're saving as a corporation, having the customer just do the work.
Yeah, you just pay for my washers I'm stealing.
Exactly. Steal it all. All right, bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good.
And we got special guests on the line. Let's plug a few things first, and then we'll jump to them.
Well, you can see our featured merch item of the week at tomanddan.com under the merch page, or become a BDM at tomanddan.com. We have our big BDM beach party next week. We'll send out one more invite to all the new BDM sign-ups.
Absolutely. And on the line with us, this is really exciting. And I honestly don't know how this happened, because when you think of like the best shows in the world, you don't think of our show. But you do think of this particular brand, this particular name, Cirque du Soleil. When anybody says that, you think top tier entertainment. And we're very lucky that here in Orlando, we've had a show. Well, we had one. Now we have a new one. But we've had shows that are like installations here in town that we get to go to. So we're very lucky to have that. And on the line right now, we actually have a performer and actually an artistic director of said show.
Yeah, Emily Carragher and Tim Burnett. Bennett, sorry. What? I was
It's right in front of you.
Let's talk about it. We messed up the easy one.
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses.
Put them on, old man.
I don't want to do the show with glasses.
You
I
have
don't
to.
want to.
Because
But I'm looking at Bennett.
It's less embarrassing to wear glasses than it is to get our
I
guest
looked
name
down
wrong.
at Bennett, and then in the blurry, it looked like the ends look like ours
Here's the
because
thing.
I can't see.
Here's the thing. We proved it.
I'm getting old.
Cirque du Soleil, Tom and Dancy, they're the far better professional show. Guys, thanks for the time and thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
No
Thanks
problem.
for having us.
I need contacts. Because I feel like
We
I have
can get
to
you contacts.
I'm
sorry, I threw that to you because I'm more worried about setting up their Zoom call than anything else. I
man.
apologize. I should have said it.
No.
I should have said it.
I knew. I just looked down to blurry. All I see is blur. How you guys doing? I find this fascinating because the show was about to debut back in March of
Cirque du
2020.
Soleil, drawn to life here in Orlando. And actually, Sam's the only member of our program that's seen it. She
did.
raved about it. But yeah, you guys, you get the show all worked up and everything's ready to go. And then boom, pandemic.
Yeah, March of 2020, you guys were going to debut, and then everything comes screeching to a halt. We all remember. And what happens after that?
Ooh, we had a giant pause. Some people went home. Some people stayed here. We tried to keep the fires lit a little bit as we kept going. But gosh, it was close to 18 months, I think, till we started getting going again. And then it actually gave us the chance to take another look at the show and make some changes to it. Which I think in the end paid off. So as challenging as it was, as horrible as that whole situation was, I think the show came out on the other end a little bit stronger.
Yeah, Tim and Emily, from an artistic director side, from a performer side, like when you find out that something that you've been, I'm a musician and performer, so from my side of things, like having your baby killed and you're performing in it, will evoke some sort of sadness or emotions. Were you guys relieved? Were you like down in the dumps? Like, how were your initial emotions of knowing that maybe you weren't going to get to execute what you'd been working so hard on?
We didn't know it was going to be such a long break. So I just figured it was going to be the 2 weeks that we originally thought.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, well, we'll take a break. We'll have a rest, because honestly, we had been working for like 4 or 5 months straight. So it was like, oh, okay, we'll take like a little breather and then we'll go open the show. And then, that 2 weeks turned into 2 years.
Yeah,
I know. And when you say things like that, it's like it's stunning to think of the amount of time. In 2 years is both a long time and not so long, depending on how you're looking at it.
I'm curious, do the other performers, do they go and try to find other gigs? I mean, obviously there's no live shows going on worldwide, really, so it's like nowhere to work, but is there other... does everybody scatter and then just wait to be called and then come back, with the short notice?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like, do people go and try to find side work?
Yeah, I would imagine
you have a very specific skill of like juggling or acrobat or whatever. It's like,
also, what you guys are doing with the Cirque shows, they're so incredibly unique that a lot of your performers, and not all performers are one of a kind, but man, you guys really and truly, every show I've seen, every person in that thing is like so absolutely unique. Did you have to like recast people? Did you lose people?
We lost a couple, not too many. Sort of what you said, shows had shut down worldwide. So where people would normally scatter and immediately pick up gigs, that wasn't possible during this. So a lot of people stayed in town. We cover, I think, 17 different countries. So we also had the issue of people couldn't leave because they were from different countries and travel was restricted and everything. We did replace a few acts. We had some acts from China, and because of different issues, they had to go back to China, so we ended up replacing a couple acts, kind of reconceiving some elements of the show. But I think the majority of the people stayed in town because there was nothing else going on anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and actually we're pretty lucky here. No matter what you think about it, there was a bit of luxury of living in this particular area of North America. We as a Florida government, treated everything a little more loose. So if you wanted to be out and about here, you certainly could be if you needed to.
How quickly did everybody remember? Because there's all the rehearsal, you guys get ready for a show.
It's so technical.
18 months hiatus, then you come back. Did everybody kind of fall back into muscle memory, remembering how the show went, or was it kind of start from scratch as far as rehearsal goes?
For me, it was starting over. Yeah, basically imagining this show, basically in a new world, and yeah, I guess I kind of had to start all over again, which gave me a new opportunity, which was fantastic. To find new things, find different things in the show that resonated with me.
Was there anything that you guys you've been through the practice shows. You know what it looks like. You want to put it out there. And Sam told me, and she actually put it on her little bio here, that you guys had that opportunity to kind of sit back, look at it, maybe take a breath, and then decide if you wanted to, alter things, change things, what you could do to make it better. How do you think that, helped or hurt the outcome of the show now?
It's a much stronger show. We really had a chance, as you said, to step back and just look at the story structure, the impact it was having on audiences. Where we were about to open, we were a locomotive going 120 miles an hour into opening, and now we had a chance to make some pretty substantive changes to what we were looking at. By the nature of the way they work with the acrobats in particular, they had deconditioned for months because they didn't have access to their equipment. So it took months to get them reconditioned and ready again. Ooh. So that gave us a chance to look at the structure and look at the characters and make some changes to it. And the show's, I'm 100% sure, much, much better for that.
I'm curious, Tim, is there a one famous critic worldwide that specializes in Cirque shows that is
because they're so unique, man.
Yeah,
I was just sitting there thinking
there's been so many throughout the years. Yeah. Is there one person that's well known I guess give his opinion on every Cirque show, and then when they come and see it, he's there or she's there, and you hope that they're going to come out with a positive critique.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Is there someone like that exists that everybody looks at to see if this show is going to be good?
The original founder, Guy.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
And he did eventually come, and he had some really wonderful notes. But yeah, he is the one person probably in the entire world that really, really understands what makes a Cirque show a Cirque show. Yeah,
is it difficult to keep up that legacy with so many moving parts, so many different areas all across the globe? And again, this is to me at least, I'm sure in your world, since you guys are in it daily, there, you might have a different perspective. But to Tom and I and Sam, you've seen the show. Yeah. I mean, when I hear just the phrase Cirque du Soleil drawn to life, I'm like, oh, that is the greatest entertainment you'll get in Orlando. That's the top tier.
I have never seen a Cirque show, so I don't have anything to compare it to.
See,
but
I got to see the old show.
Yeah, and I'm a big Disney nerd, so I get the best of both worlds. I get part of the Cirque du Soleil experience. I get the Disney experience. Yeah. And I know a lot of Cirque du Soleil purists were kind of concerned with adding the Disney element, but I thought it went together flawlessly. I thought you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
What's the hardest part of the show? What's the hardest part of this particular show? I guess I should ask, because all of the shows have so many different crazy things in them. What do you guys think is the hardest thing to pull off?
Probably pleasing both sides of the crowd. The Disney people and the Cirque people have to have satisfying elements in the show.
Sure.
And they need to be equally pleased with what they're experiencing.
And Disney people are hard. Yeah. Man,
well, so are Cirque people. I did not realize.
That's true.
It's true.
I'm curious if there's one part of the show. I always get fascinated with the behind the scenes. where like the audience may not realize there's like
the danger of like the acrobatics.
Or like a particular stunt. I hate to call it even a stunt because it's so closer to art than stunt. It is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, but
I agree with you.
But like any,
oh man, there were audible gasps in the audience for the show.
Yeah, like one particular, I'll say stunt for lack of a better term, that is real difficult to pull off, and like everybody behind the scenes like holds their breath while it's happening, and then once it gets past that, everyone's like, okay, from here on out, it's
like a part of the show that's the most dangerous, and once you get past that, you're good to go.
Oh, I know what it is. Okay. What is it, Tim?
I was going to say when Emily first walks on stage, we have no idea what she's going to do. So,
that's true. I was thinking there's one particular trick that they do in teeterboard that always gets the audience. And I always listen for it because it's always a different sound. And it's kind of the sound that you want, which is like, oh, wow.
Yeah, okay.
Like multi-level emotional reaction.
Emily, how do you formulate your character? I mean, knowing that
because you play the villain.
Yeah, and you're going to go out there. And Sam, you said that she like...
Did you even have a mic on?
Oh, yeah.
You did? Okay, but because I was like, you have one of the best villain laughs I've ever heard. And it transcended through the entire theater. Yeah. I honestly thought that was just you without a mic.
Yeah, like Sam pointed that out.
I was like, my God, that is a good laugh.
Yeah, she said that was something that, like, it's like quintessential for you as a character. It's like as soon as you laughed, she was like, oh, okay, here we go. It's happening.
Setting the tone.
How do you create a character? How do you even audition for something that's as weird? And I mean that with love, as weird as Cirque, because the shows are weird. You know, they're very...
No, I think it's a weird it's a specific process that has to happen while a show is being created, because you're asked to create a new character, an original character with Cirque du Soleil. It's a big responsibility. And when you have the Disney presence behind you on top of that, you want to make sure that you're hitting all your marks. You want to make sure that you're really giving it something that people are going to resonate with, and people are going to go, oh my gosh, I totally understand her.
Yeah.
And they walk away going, we felt like we hung out with her, like we know her. And that's probably the best.
I love that, because also these type of shows, like, you know, Samantha, I'm not going to say she's hard to please, but she likes quality. She's already said she wants to go back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
awesome.
They have a Florida resident discount that does end October 1st, so you guys make sure you check that out. I'm going to go before that expires.
It's an unbelievable value.
I want to bring my sons.
Yeah, it's like these type of show, and it's like family friendly for everybody type of thing. Like, what? Let me ask you guys this: Do you ever get... Like, I've always wondered if like Cirque du Soleil performers, because we do have people that are traveling from throughout the world to come to Orlando to see the show. Do you guys get recognized places and people are like, oh yeah, I know you from the show?
Oh yeah.
And do they expect you to, like, I don't know, like bust out an evil laugh in the middle of Walmart or something, you know?
I mean, I haven't had that particular experience yet. But I know that we do, once we step out of the theater, there are people that go, oh, we know who that is, or we, you know, like there's something in that person that we recognize that we saw earlier. And yeah, that's pretty exciting. I think I like it when people recognize me, because it says, like, even with all the makeup and the costuming and the microphones and everything, they're still seeing me, which is great.
That's awesome.
How many different languages are spoken backstage? Like,
that's a good question.
Of a Cirque show.
I think this one is 17. I said 17 countries. I think we're crazy. 21 countries and 17 different languages here. The shows vary, and we may be more homogenous than the touring shows, because our crew is pretty much all American, but the touring shows are international from top to bottom. So it's quite a few, and it's pretty wonderful.
And I'm curious how many different, like, we talk to magicians all the time, and they have outs where if a trick goes wrong, they know you can't tell because they'll just go a different direction.
They have a way to improv the mistake away.
And I'm curious, with your guys, Cirque being so technical, there's got to be small things that probably maybe go wrong throughout the show, but you have a different direction to go with it with each performer.
We're obsessed with Plan B. We really are. We're obsessed with, like, what do you got to do to make me? Because I know for a fact that I've been the old show that we had here in Orlando. I think I saw that 9 times. That's how much I liked it. And I know for a fact that at least one or two of those performances, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen, but I would have never known.
Unless you saw the
yeah.
previous. Yeah.
I mean, just in live performance, I've never done the same show twice. And I think everyone can say that because there's always going to be, I mean, the audience is different every time, but there's definitely things that are going to be different when you step on stage, things that you're going to expect and things you're not going to expect. And you just have to roll with the punches. You have to be able to adapt and figure out, like technically the brain has to be on for like safety, but artistically you have to be thinking, okay, how am I going to recover from this and move on to the next part of our story? So you're juggling basically.
And as an audience member, I was telling them that like there's so much going on at the same time that you're for sure going to miss something.
Sure.
So it's worth going to see more than once.
Absolutely.
Oh, you have to see it more than once. You have to.
Yeah, that was one of and it's a good problem to have, but you got performers that like you've got some coming down the aisle, you got people up on stage, you got a guy on the side doing something, then somebody flies by here comes a motorbike. Like these shows are so...
The live music.
I wouldn't even get to the live musicians aspect of it, and as a musician myself, and knowing that you're going to, wait for cues, or maybe you are the cue. It's just too much going on.
It's an insane amount to even oversee live while it's happening. It's crazy.
And I always recommend that people sit in different places because depending on where you are in the theater, you're going to get a different show.
Good call. Yeah.
You're going to see different things. You're going to feel different things. And that's important.
And there's not a bad place because, again, we've seen these type of shows, these like high-end shows multiple times, which, by the way, I'm going to remember to plug this value of a ticket that you guys can get right now for Florida residents. Make sure you check that out. But, yeah, like if you sit in different areas, you might even hear different things or, be a part of some other thing that you've never seen before. Well, guys, hey, we really appreciate the time. We appreciate you zooming in from the theater and getting up early for us. And it means a lot to us, and we hope to get out there and check the show out.
Yes, do it.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Emily. We'll hopefully we'll see you soon because I want to take my kids to the show for sure.
We'll go for sure. Guys, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you at Cirque du Soleil Drawn to Life, okay?
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
See ya. Be good.
I was going to ask her to do the laugh, but then I thought it would be cheesy.
Yeah, sorry. I blew that. I screwed that
You're
up.
like, you ever have any idiots in the mall ask you to laugh? I'm like, damn it, that was going to be me.
And now I'm mad. Now I can say how I really felt the entire thing. The goddamn Zoom thing making me mad.
Well, that's fine. At least you didn't say his name wrong.
I'm sweating. No, that's my fault. I threw it to Tom, and I didn't need to do it. I could have just...
He's got it right in front of him.
I know, but I should have done it because I was already doing it, and I should have just gone all the way through it, but I didn't. I chose not to. I said, kick it to him, and then you go back and make sure your levels are right, and I shouldn't have done that. It was my fault. You didn't know I was going to do that. That's not your fault. That's my fault. I screwed that.
I mean, his name is Bennett. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I was focused on character.
You're like, Bennett, too easy. I'm going Burnett.
Burnett.
Well, then, because I was like...
I'll tell you who we have on. We have on whoever I say is on the line.
Because I looked down, and I'm like, blurry. Anyway.
I'm at a point in my adult life where you can tell me something, and I'll look you right in the eyes and go, you got to say that again. I have no idea what and it makes me feel like I'm dying. And I know I am, but I mean like soon. It's coming to get me.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with my brain, but I get ahead of myself where I'm like, all right, I got this. I'm like, what question should I ask? I was like going to and then all of a sudden it's like back to the beginning. I'm like, it's
wait
started.
a minute, I don't got it.
Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah,
I should have just stayed at the beginning.
One thing at a time.
Work there. Yeah, I get.
I get ahead of myself though too. I've started writing.
I'm already at the end of the interview and on to the.
You're like, who's next?
Treasure hunting with Pat tomorrow.
No, me and Tom are already talking to Top Golf.
It's a wrong.
Yeah, like what are we doing?
Wrong company.
We're talking to Drive Shack. Top Golf, it's all the same. Top shelf. Top Golf.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time. What can't you train a dolphin to do?
That's the number one question the world has. Here's the answer. Dolphins cannot. The only thing a dolphin cannot do is turn on a crock pot.
I was going to say maybe text on something and they know opposable
They
thumbs.
can nose it?
I mean, I've seen a lot of... Yeah, that's true.
I think they can nose it up.
Yeah.
That is true.
Like, what's the most impressive thing you've seen a dolphin do?
The dolphin is the curliest of pink penises.
Actually, I have a really good story for this.
All right.
It's a a problem-solving thing. So to keep it short, I was tossing a few different items, a little rubber ducky, a small football, a little ring for one of the two dolphins to just go out and bring back while I was working with her brother. And with one ring around her rostrum, she could open her mouth and grab the duck. But with two rings, which I threw out, she could not. So she put both rings over her mouth and then tried to get the other two and couldn't get all four. And after about 3 times, we usually would switch to a different behavior so she wouldn't get frustrated. And I thought, I think if she can get this. So I threw all 4 out again, asked her to go get them. She put both rings over her mouth, stopped for a second when she went to get the duck, backed up, took the rings off her mouth, grabbed the duck, put the duck between both of them, and then grabbed the football, which she put under her pec fin like a running back.
Wow.
And I was like, and I was like a very
dope.
veterinarian, and we went,
That's dope.
probably words I can't say on air. I was like, oh my.
yeah.
She just problem solved.
Wow.
Smarter than little Yachty.
Yeah. So when you were saying that, I'm like, well, yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I think we just answered our question because he's definitely 4 rings on the snoot, no duck. He's a no duck Yachty.
But that you start looking at that, you're like, oh my god, well, how smart are you? Like, how did you figure this out?
Serious question
Dolphin?
you just made me think of that probably, I don't know how sensitive or emotional you are, but this would bother me. Can you see frustration in dolphins?
I can see frustration in anything.
In anything?
I have a yellow lab, and see him, he's frustrated.
But when they're going at it, and they can't figure out how to do it, how do they express that frustration? What would they do if they were upset?
Well, I think that would be different for every single animal, just like it would be for every single
case by
dog
case.
or whatever. Yeah, case by case. But sometimes they would just they might vocalize with it, or if your dog would come back and.
So their sounds, you can go ooh, that's like...
Oh, you can just tell more, almost body language would probably be
That
more
is
of a
so
thing.
cool,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
When I was a kid,
I thought you were going to say when I was a dolphin trainer, and I was going to be like, all right, well, I got nothing for this.
I had heard from my, redneck uncles and the adults.
got no souls. Dolphins are really mermaids.
No, it was the old, if you're ever in shark infested waters, if you see a dolphin, they'll save you by immediately
Snooting the gills of the sharks.
They'll snoot the shark to death
Until blood comes out of it.
and
I've
save
seen
your
that.
life.
I've seen that on all the shows. The dolphin will snoot the gills, and the shark's like, "Oh, let me cough this blood out." And he coughs the blood out, and then he's like, "I better get out of here."
And then
And he swims away.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay, so Will.
I mean, it's a possibility. I wouldn't be like, hey, there's dolphins. I'm good. I'll just go over and
But
pet
there's
this
also
tiger
a
shark. But
possibility that the dolphin could be chilling there and be like, "Man, there's 4 dolphins, and I'm just out here, pee. I'm taking a pee for the party." I'm assuming this dolphin swam away to take a pee away from the dolphin party. And he's seeing you get attacked by sharks, and he's like, yeah, I'm not getting mixed up in that. And then he swims back to the party, and he lets you get torn limb from limb.
Well, my thought was if you could snoot a shark to death, you could snoot me to death easily, right?
But they don't do that. Normally,
I know.
they like to sexually poke at humans, right? Don't they they're horny animals.
Well,
and you're
I've
a teacher. You don't need to get it mixed up in this game.
I could tell you other different things.
They do things.
Well,
right? Yeah, they're spicy animals.
Well, at Discovery Cove, they'll tell you they'll get too horny or whatever, and then they'll start doing
We had to put it down this morning. It's too horny.
It'll just start trying to. I guess
It's in there. It's we have 2 of our dolphins.
Dolphins would have been very happy at Woodstock. I'll just we can put it that way. They there's a whole free love,
women,
if you will.
The mud, any tent, anything goes.
Yeah.
If you got long hair, don't care. I don't. I'll just pretend you're my wife.
But then it's like a certain time you have to get out of the tank because
he's gone crazy.
I've never seen anything like that. But
He's got
dolphin to dolphin or whatever.
Death in his
all
eyes.
different kind of.
But has there ever been any danger with trainers? We've seen with whale trainers and stuff.
What do you
whales
mean?
will like the whale trainer in Orlando. It's dangerous.
These are big animals. These are if you're in the water with, in that case, you're talking about a 13,000-pound killer whale. Even if it's just a bottlenose dolphin, you're talking about 500-600-pound animal of pure muscle. I mean, even if they're not trying,
it could accidentally drown you.
A
right?
docile, cow that you're milking or something can fall over.
Oh my
big
God.
animals are big animals.
That's the lamest way to die, though. If you're milking a cow and it slowly falls over, and it suffocates you to death, you're like, what happened?
You're
to
at the line of the pearly gates, and you're like, buddy, how did you die? I need a better story.
I was slowly suffocated by this obese cow laying on top of me.
I just wondered if there's any, has there ever been a trainer that's been seriously hurt or killed by a dolphin by accident? I've never heard of it. Never by a dolphin.
You know what? I'm going to imagine that somewhere in some Bahamian village.
Oh, yeah,
There
okay.
is a small group of excursion guys that run a dolphin encounter, and they've been murdered by one of the dolphins. So the answer to your question is yes.
How does that? Who runs those in the Bahamas and stuff?
They
like
don't- no one knows.
Oh, yeah.
Are there
No one
professionals
knows.
out there?
No
There's
one
got to
knows.
be some professional that like worked for UM that's down there. Yeah, because
And you know what makes me think that is
it's not just some dude that ran the jet ski rentals that now is running the dolphin encounter.
And
right?
what makes me think that is
I hope not, at least.
one of our most beloved Australian treasures was Steve Irwin. I've talked about him in the last couple of weeks. The only problem I have with him is that he wore Hooter socks. It's the only problem I have with him. He wore the bunchy Hooter socks. I keep bringing it up because it's a fact. I do remind people that he was flawed. He was a flawed man. He wore Hooter socks. But here's what I will say is that how come he was murdered by a stingray, and those dudes that are in, Nassau are holding stingrays up, and the stingray's mouth is smiling, but it's not smiling. It's literally gasping for water. It can't get water, so and it's dying, and it looks happy. And how come it's not murdering that guy? Holding him up.
I think
Murder that guy, not Steve Irwin.
The one that got Steve Irwin was like 12 foot wide. Like it was a gigantic. You know what I'm saying? Like that one is tiny.
Still.
Yeah. I think the gigantic mega stingrays, they have the big, like their barbs are 6 foot long. You know, some huge thing that, and the force of 10 men stabbing you with a spear. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a gigantic animal as opposed to the, you're out at Stingray Island in Nassau.
Yeah.
There's trash everywhere.
And that guy's trick, right? He always tries to
I think they break off all the stingrays too. Like so.
How do you? And then they find the hottest girl, and then they make the stingray like pull her bikini off. I've seen this a million times.
We saw it with Tiffany.
We saw it with Tiffany.
I'm going to Bahamas in November, so I'll make sure I go take
If you
that
go to
shot.
Stingray Island, the guy, if you have a hot girl with you that is like, let's say, fun, the stingray.
Well, I'm bringing my wife.
The
So yes.
stingray will untie her bikini
Yes.
with its smile mouth. This guy will.
I'm like, how does it know?
It's horrible animal abuse. This thing is looking for water while it's biting the bikini and pulling it off. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It'll gum it right, gum the knot off. Sorry. All right, Kevin, want to play a song before we go?
Should we talk about music? I mean,
haven't talked about his music at all.
Yeah.
What songs are we going to hear?
He has original music and he does covers. We
So
watched you do The Shallow with what appeared to be a bartender. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
You
that
had
was
some lady
that
up there
was
singing with you.
fantastic.
Actually, she's like a Nashville singer.
Oh, really?
Funny enough. Yeah, I
That was
got done.
Shania Twain.
Yeah,
Oh, she's Canadian.
I was. No, I was playing down in Key West, and afterwards, what do you do in Key West? You bar hop, of course.
Yeah.
And was sitting there. We were actually guessing, as you guys did with me, what her and the guitarist's age was, and she stopped to come get a drink. And we've never met a stranger, me and my friend, so we just decided to be blunt and ask. And she's like, "Oh, you play? Why don't you come up and play?" And I was like, "Okay, sweet." So. Is as nonchalant as could possibly
Really?
be.
like
Yeah.
that.
So as far as music goes and what songs, I mean, it depends. For the non-disclosed location,
Yes.
or
This guy's a pro.
is it a bar on Friday night, or is it a Tuesday night happy hour? Is it beachfront? Is it in a downtown location? So is the crowd mostly white haired? Are they
crowd,
24? So
To set the scene for this
Whole
one,
lot of different stuff.
we're all. It's more of this is a cosplay gathering, and we're all.
Oh, they didn't tell you what they
The Nazis have invaded, and we're all hiding in the basement. That's the vibe we're going for.
Yeah.
No, I'm being stupid.
The crowd, our medium crowd, a lot of bearded guys with tattoos and and hats.
They like the classics. They like a little country, a little beachside,
and then that's probably why they hired me.
sprinkling of Jimmy. A little Jimmy in there.
I don't know if you're familiar with the song Santeria. I'm a big fan of that.
He's a Santeria man.
I think I heard.
Yeah, he's a Santeria
I mean,
guy.
there's not a beach party with that.
I'm more of a Jim Croce man myself.
Okay.
I'm more of a operator. Any other places go. And Sam,
You'll hear a lot more sublime than you will Jim Croce.
What do
I'll
you
just say
like,
that.
Sam? What is your
Little Credence.
Lil Creed? Okay, yeah, can't go wrong with CCR.
I don't hear too much Jamiroquai on acoustic.
Yeah, we would like some Jamiroquai and some R. Kelly.
I can do R. Kelly. I tell you, that's the one thing that is one of the most fun things.
You have to pull songs out.
Is I'll go, try to be just because my music preferences are all over the place. I listen to a lot of country right now, and
Yeah.
if I would do anything, I'd do country. But my favorite band is Coheed and Cambria. And in high school, all I ever did was listen to hip hop. So like, I'll do Nelly. I could recreate the halftime show with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Oh, I love
but with
it.
hair like this and a camo shirt or a tank top and no shoes on. People are like, they just
right.
turn sideways and.
Our group likes a mix of music.
So,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can pretty much
so-
do whatever you like. Coheed is that new album's actually quite
Oh,
good.
it's legit.
It's really good. Yeah, it's fun. 'Cause
Especially if you're like an old school Coheed
yeah,
fan.
they're
it's
heavy.
back.
They're heavy
It's-
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm glad to hear you say that. Oh, now that
I
I,
got a
know he
Coheed
likes
tattoo
that,
right here on
I
my
didn't
side.
know that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Now that I know that, and that he came from rap roots and everything, just
Well, let's
play
fit a
with
song in
90s
before we gotta
country
get out
and
of
all
here.
this kind of stuff.
Let's
so.
do a song.
You want to
Let's
do an
a song.
original for us?
Yeah, you do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you can do whatever you want. If you grab we'll do this all while we're live on the air. If I'll grab that microphone. Yeah, thank you, Tom. And then I'll set this over here, and we'll get you dialed in.
You guys can go to
How-
spacecoastlive.com. You can see where he is performing around town.
Are you a tip jar man?
It's a shark tip jar usually. And I don't have it with me right now. so no.
A shark tip.
What does it look like?
It's
Looks
like
like a
the
shark.
mouth of a shark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you
Self-explanatory there.
What did you think? Like
I'd tell you where I got it, but it might give a
laser.
location away a little bit here.
Okay, yeah. Don't give away the location. It's a nice looking guitar you got.
When I'm tipping out an artist is playing an instrument or whatever, I need.
Never came to see my band.
I need. Did you have a tip jar?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a tip
I
jar.
never
Do you
saw
even
it.
remember? I know you did.
God, I brought you guys koozies.
Oh, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much. I'll pass these out. Do you even remember the name of Sam's?
No.
I'm throwing that to you, Sam.
Something.
Okay.
Something corporate.
The
Why are you doing this? You know he has no
It
clue.
starts with an H.
hey.
The Haymakers.
The H. The Anhacious.
The Hadron Collider.
That's it.
Hadron Collider.
The
Very
heart. The heart. And then there's the rest.
There's
heart.
I'll bet him $100.
Oh, eat the ants.
Is the heart the beginning? of
No,
it?
well, you've already given him half the name.
I've given you half the name. The heart.
It
And
doesn't
then
help me at all.
and the syllables are the heart.
well, now you're just giving it to him.
The heart.
I remember Hart and Huntington.
Is-
That
Yeah,
two
yeah.
places.
Oh my God.
That
I
place
got a
still
tattoo
around?
there.
Did you?
I did. Actually got two there.
Is that's in business?
It is in
I
business,
think
yeah.
they are. Yeah, but they,
But my artist went to a different shop.
Carrie Hart still own it?
I
think so.
don't know.
That's his name.
The big one, I think he still does.
The Hart.
Do you need any help from us?
No,
Hard.
I'm good.
The hard.
Hart?
Okay. Okay.
No, it is not.
All right. You guys ready?
All right, I'm ready for some
Okay.
Kevin Ebright
Hold on, what was it?
original
I
I like we're
music.
putting him on the spot too. We're like, here, set your guitar up and sing now.
Heartbreak Junkies.
Heartbreak Junkies.
Man, I hope it's in tune and all that good stuff. No, I just took care of it.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
I was thinking the News Junkies.
Sabrina, yeah, I got it.
Sabrina and the News Junkies. I like that.
All right. Okay.
Okay, you can't. Yeah, you sing in that one, and I'll use that one to pick up more guitar off of you. There we go.
Again, our BDM Beach Party, September 10th. And you got to be a BDM to... if you are a BDM and you can get the invite, just email us. We'll let you know. Or ask another BDM. Like, you just have to be a BDM to attend.
I like you with the echo in your voice. This is live from the Moses DeWitt,
of Red Rocks.
Law Firm. This is live from the DeWitt Law Firm performance studio.
I'm actually hoping to go to Red Rocks the end of the month, see Tyler Childers play.
Nice.
My buddy changed his 50th birthday party to going out to Denver, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, man, that's...
Do it. Only live once.
Can you get the guitar?
A little bit. Yeah, I got you a little bit on there.
One of these days, I'm gonna really buckle down, find my way out of this town, and head out to the coast. And one of these days, I'll go fishing a little more, Watch the sunset from that shore and feel the sand upon my skin. And one of these days I'll travel across that sea and talk to folks that don't talk like me and see the wonders of this big old world. Don't wait around for that clock to tick, 'cause most folks say it goes by quick. Don't second guess, just do what you gotta do. 'Cause life is short and you only get one, and you can't go back and get what's gone. Take that chance before it gets away. Don't wait for one of these days. One of these days I'm gonna walk across that floor, ask for a dance and a little more from the girl that's out of my league. And one of these days I'll put a diamond on her hand after I ask her old man. Yeah, he's alright with it. And one of these days I'll put down that old smoke, trade the whiskey for a Coke, and remember every moment that we get. And don't wait around for that clock to tick, 'cause most folks say it goes by quick. Can second guess, just do what you gotta do. 'Cause life is short and you only get one, and you can't go back and get what's gone. And take that chance before it gets away. Don't wait for one of these days. And looking back at life, you won't regret making all those memories you can't forget. And one of these days I'll fix up his old car, hear it rumble with a start, just like Dad and Granddad did. And one of these days I'll sit down on that porch, hear the stories about the war, and get to learning what really matters the most. And he said, well, don't wait around for that clock to tick. I tell you, son, it goes by quick. Don't second guess, just do what you gotta do. 'Cause life is short and you only get one, and you can't go back and get what's gone. And take that chance before it gets away. There ain't no reason for you to be afraid. Don't wait for one of these days.
All right, dude.
That was really good, man. Good.
I've
Lord.
never had a high school teacher this cool.
Cool. I know. Like, I was just sitting there thinking of all the stuff you've done, where you've been, the way you look even factors in. You're just like a cool.
Or
You're
maybe
like
that's,
we need more teachers like you.
Maybe
and if we don't start
students,
paying them, we're going to lose
wrong job.
We're going to lose all of our cool teachers.
But your students think you're cool because maybe it's just
that's a good
us.
question.
We're your age and we're like, this is cooler
Yeah,
than
we're like,
your-
look how cool this guy is.
But then
and they're like, nah, dog, he ain't cool.
It's probably
This
a
guy
relative. It's probably a relative coolness.
Yeah.
I do like you and I going, wow, what a great song. Man, you really gave me chill buzz. Hey, that sucks.
Kevin Ebright.
Kids hate everything, man.
Where can people find your music or your information, social media, all that?
Facebook, Kevin Ebright Music. Instagram, same thing, Kevin Ebright Music.
Yes,
And full entire year lineup right now at spacecoastlive.com.
SpaceCoastLive.com. The chat room, I'm laughing because the chat room's like, that was an original?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good. We're not going to,
Thank you.
we went, checked him out. We're like, oh, yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. Well done, man. That was really great. That was really great.
All right, guys. We'll see you at the BDM Beach Party. Again, sign up at tomanddan.com.
Indeed.
And email us if you didn't get the invite. All right. Bye-bye.